So how is your experience so far, guys? Who wants to share?
It's been really good, actually. I've been having some amazing experiences.
Tell
And
us, share with
I
us.
laugh
Please.
because you were telling me to like scan the Zohar like for 2 years, and I would do it, but not the way I'm doing it now. And like things are crazy. Like just amazing things are happening. But the one thing I'm having trouble with is just like sticking with the scanning. So what I've done is I just put on like music with a beat. I don't know if that's like appropriate, but I like put it on with a beat, so I kind of go with the beat of the music, and then it keeps me like going and scanning for long periods of time.
That's what Rabbi Shimon used to do.
It helps. It really helps with like a beat, just like instrumental beat music. It
I
really, really
promise
helps.
you, if he had these devices, he would do it the same way as you.
Yeah.
No,
So
no, it's fine. It's fine. That's
okay,
we
good.
also on the Zohar app we had music, so
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that. Yeah.
no, it's not a problem at all, actually. Okay, nice. Who wants to share? Daniel,
Me or the other Daniel?
I see you, so you are with open camera.
So, so this is the second time that I'm doing this.
Ah, cool.
So I did it the first time with Tamar.
Is it
It
different?
yes, because the first time it was really like very like aha, like awakening. So you really like gained a lot every time you did it. Whereas this time it's more like you're integrating what you learned the first time. So I decided to do it a second time because it's just hard to keep it going all the time, to do it every day and to like get rid of everything else that you have to do and take the time apart for it. You know, when you think it's not that long a time when you really look at it, but just seems like things get in the way and, you know, like chaos, right? Or the whole world. So that seems
Distraction.
to, sorry?
Something
And
distracting us to do it because it's
yeah,
important. There is a lot of forces that don't want us
yeah.
to do it.
And the opponent, right? So always hard at work. What I'm finding both times, and now it's getting stronger, there's a lot of synchronicity. So things are really falling into place in the chaos. The chaos is still there, but there's just a lot of synchronicity, and things are just happening like really like almost if like coincidental, but too coincidental to be a coincidence. I heard that there was no word in Hebrew for coincidence. Is that true?
No, there is.
Okay. Well, my friend tells me there's no coincidences. So that's that. And also lots of messages. I get a lot of messages.
But it's
And
interesting because the word for coincidence is mikriyut, and mikre, it's something that just happened.
an event,
An
event.
event. Mikre
Yeah.
is an event, and
Yeah.
mikriyut is by
Event.
coincidence.
So maybe my friend was right.
You know, Israel Hebrew is very sophisticated language, so
Mm,
there's a lot
mm.
of inner weight to it, you know.
And I find like what every time that I do this, I find that I detach myself from the material world and time, and it allows me to travel to another place. So I found that I have traveled through big parts of my life while reading through the Zohar because I'm scanning with you guys, but I'm also scanning the whole Zohar, right? So now I'm actually pretty advanced. I'm in book number 17. So
Wow.
that's pretty good. And I started with you in October. So I have about 5 books left to do, but I was just scanning. So I wasn't really understanding. With this program, you're really
You
understanding.
study.
Exactly, exactly. And the meditations, Tamar's meditations are really fantastic. It's really, really good. So, and it's also bringing me to other lifetimes. So I'm seeing myself doing different things, just kind of like exploring different worlds
You want
and
to share with
also
us some kind of epiphany you had?
some kind of epiphany. I think the main thing for me is, and it's something that I have issues with, and it's my relationship to time. So I always worry that I'm not going to have enough time to finish this or do that, or not everything's going to get done. But now my relationship to time is completely different because it seems like time has changed for me. So I think that's the very, very big change for me. And also, I've become kinder, and I've also become kinder to myself, which I think is a very big thing for me. So yeah, it's been fantastic. And I wanted to do it again because it's hard to be motivated to do it every day, right? But by doing this, again, by having the group, it motivates to do so that you can keep on doing it and do it every single day. Because now if you don't do it, it's like, oh, I didn't do it, I miss it, you know? And for the meditation, I've been using what Tamar does when she does the meditations for the new moons with the deep breathing. And that's been really fantastic because you just, with the breathing, you just go to somewhere else.
You mean a breath work?
Yes. But she asks us for that in the meditations, but I do it throughout the meditation. So when I finish the meditation, usually I'm pretty buzzed. If you want to explain that word, I'm pretty like, wow, like energized. And it's, and I think what it is bringing to me the most is happiness and fulfillment.
Beautiful. Anyone else wants to share something with us?
I have a question and I want to share. I forgot. I just remembered something, but I've been doing it during cosmic midnight. So I've been noticing something very different during that time. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the negative side isn't talking as much at that time. Is that correct?
True, it's true.
It feels like that. Like when I don't feel like there's any distractions. It's very odd.
Yeah, there are a few explanations to that because most people are asleep during this time. So the noise, the Wi-Fi noise is being reduced because people are not active. On the other end, behind time and space, that's the actual moment where the creator with all the righteous souls are studying. Okay?
Mm.
So you kind of you joining a different movement from the upper world. So yeah,
it
it
feels
says
that way.
different, and it says that the Zohar explained in one of the things that every time we study during after midnight, the cosmic midnight, that now it's around 1:15 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So every time we study behind this time till dawn, in this frame, there is a string of mercy that's been pulled towards our next day. It means that there is a huge protection behind the light that we reveal and everything, but there is a string of mercy that's been pulled and protecting us throughout the day. So it's an amazing recommendation for all of you to try it a few times.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I feel like I'm not as distracted like Daniel was saying. For some reason, it just takes you down into yourself more. I don't know.
Yeah, if you can commit to it, I mean, it's not an easy thing.
Maybe not every day, but I've been doing it every day. But
you going to sleep very late. That's the reason.
I go to sleep very, very late.
Oh,
yeah. So I've been doing that. So I've been like really, really committing to
going to sleep and waking up during this time. It's not easy. But if you're going to sleep late, yeah, it's actually an amazing option.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I also had a really beautiful experience during the last story. I think it was on day, was it 18? Was that yesterday? Today? I don't even know.
Yesterday.
It was the story of Rabbi Yitzhak, and I don't know how to say his name, and Rabbi Yossi, the one where they were on the road and they saw a man there with the talah, or is it talah? I don't know how to Talit. So he had, and then he didn't say hello to them. And so one was saying one thing, another one's like, maybe he's a robber, maybe he's this, maybe he's that. And then they realized that he was a righteous soul. And, the one, I think it was Rabbi Yossi, didn't like judge him and kind of said, maybe there's a reason that he's not saying hello to us. So it was about giving people the benefit of the doubt. And that story, when I finished it, I just burst into tears because I felt like that was me. And that's how I interact in the world. It's like, I tend to look for that reason that someone's negative towards me without having any evidence. So it just like shifted that immediately.
It's the opposite of the benefit of the doubt, what we call.
Yeah. So it really, really helped me heal that aspect. Yeah. So that's my story.
Sorry. Daniel, want to share something?
Yeah, it's been really enjoyable, like just these daily nuggets of wisdom. And it's just what I like about it more is like the consistency is just, it's kind of, it sort of becomes a daily practice and it just kind of reminds you of it's the problem is it's like for me, it's easy to forget some of these things, right? Um, oh, sorry, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of the teachings, you for me, like a challenge is remembering them, thinking about them, practicing them, making them almost an automatic part of your life. But it's hard because, every day you have the opponent, every day you have your ego, every day you have negative speech and anger and negative thoughts. And so it's for me, it's a struggle. But when I read these every day, it's sort of like a daily reminder to take a step back and do the kinds of things that will allow more light into my life. One thing that resonated with me was the everything has a right to exist, even the the snake, right? Even any species who might be considered a pest or annoyance to us humans has a right to exist because God created it, right? And so therefore there's beauty in everything that God created. And that resonated with me because I was actually a few days ago, I was doing a film shoot with a friend of mine. He's a producer, and I was on set with him, and we were doing some interviews for a film project. And a bee flew in, and we couldn't record because there was this bee flying around. And he said to me, "Go kill the bee." And I felt bad because I felt it was like poor bee, like the bee deserved to live, but we couldn't shoot the film if the bee was in there. And I went up to the bee, and right before I killed it, I said, "I'm sorry," and then I smushed it. And then so that was the day, and so the next day was day 14, which everything has a right to exist. And so I thought the timing was impeccable for that. But I did feel a degree of guilt that it's like, who am I to kill one of God's species, especially the bees, because they're having a hard time these days. But that might be just again another sort of synchronicity of, you experience something in life, and then the next day in Kabbalah you learn about it.
It's interesting. Yeah. There is a very famous article by the Rav Ashlag that explains, as you said, that everything has a right to exist. It means that the moment you judge something, some kind of an existence of a living being, or even a scenario, you're actually immediately judging the creator. You understand? You're actually judging that. So, for example, we see all the chaos that's happening in the world right now. Yeah. We see all the hatred, all the fanatism started to take control, and immediately can fall into judgment, say, okay, they are not right. What they're doing is not fair. It's not just. It's not this. Not that. But when someone is more developed spiritually, he understands that this is an essential part of the process. So you cannot really eliminate the process, but you should be belonging to the forces that are helping the world to evolve. So on one end, you're saying, wow, this is sorrowing, the pain, the bloodsheds, the separation, the fights, the chaos. It's painful. I cannot judge it, but I can contribute to evolve the world because I know there is a better way. So the Kabbalists, the righteous, they constantly live in pain. And they say that they used to get sick because of that. But it's a different sickness. It says that through their suffering, their sickness, they were able to remove the judgment from the world because they took upon themselves the judgment of the world. So maybe not to the same level, but we need to take upon ourselves the weight and feel the pain that exists in the world. And knowing that there is a must that to accelerate the process of evolution. Is that making sense to you guys? So instead of judging, being motivated for change. Not just myself, the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else wants to share, Anissa?
I had a question because first Daniel brought it up about the breath work, and I had that experience on one of the new moons, the Aries new moon that I attended with you guys, and Tamar did the meditation, and the buzz that you're saying, I felt like my back started to kind of, I don't know if it was hurt. It wasn't hurting, it was just numbness. And then by midway through the meditation, both my hands were just tingling or numb. And I was wondering if that was, she had mentioned that might happen, but I'm wondering what that is, because now I just remembered that I had that question. I've never asked it.
Yeah. So the breath work is very, it's a physical workout. Yeah. And physical workout, when you ventilate so much oxygen, you enrich your lungs and the muscles and the bloodstream with oxygen. It's really the essence of life. So it's causing a lot of processes in the world. But the idea of breath in general, breath in Hebrew means neshima, and soul means neshama. So through breathing right, it's actually tuning ourselves back to the soul. So that's the intention that we found. That's the reason we start incorporating these methods. So exaggerating a little bit with the breath, but in the intention to connect to our soul. But it's interesting, you get high. Of course, it's beautiful. You get high, and when you are elevated in emotion, you can access different part of who you are. When your emotions are down, you cannot experience the higher self. You understand? You can experience the lower self.
For sure. Okay, so it's safe if that happens, right?
Yeah, no worries.
Okay,
it's good.
Perfect. Awesome.
I feel it when I do it in a short meditation. What I do sometimes is I'll take a big breath, and then I won't breathe it out for a long time, and then I start feeling it in my back and even in my gums. It's intense.
Cool.
But at the end you feel really great. It's a very, very good feeling.
Yeah, I'm used to holding my breath and doing that from my yoga background, but this was a different kind of feeling. It wasn't something I had experienced before, and the tingling was just really intense. So I was like, I'm doing something. I'm not sure what I'm doing to myself, but I didn't faint or anything, so it was fine.
It is enriching really the bloodstream with so much oxygen. That's what's the main cause, I think, physically.
Sure.
On the spiritual level, of course, something happens spiritually too, because physical is just the byproduct of the spiritual. Yeah. Who else wants to share something? So I just wanted to touch upon the power of the Zohar, because we are getting closer to the moment when the Zohar was revealed to the world. That will be our graduation, by the way. We did it intentionally, because what happened when the Zohar was revealed to the world, it was a very powerful window. And that window, I don't know if I shared with you before, but that window allowed access to a place that can remove so much judgment from the world. So Rav Shimon was able to tap into wisdom, into consciousness that could defy the matrix. Because the matrix is structured in the way of cause and effect. What's mean cause and effect? I did something negative. This negative thing will come and haunt me. I have a negative thought, negative emotion, hatred, anything that I do must be with the consequences. That's how this matrix works. This is the cosmic computer of cause and effect. But he said no. Said if I have a certain power, I can control the physical reality. So every time there was judgment cosmically or worldwide that was about to come, caused a wave. The Zohar explains that every time there is accumulation of negativity that's been produced by humanity, it's have to take place in a manifestation of a chaos that will come about. So we had a few, okay? So every war is a manifestation, but it could be more locally, even though now every war affects each and every one of us globally. But if you say, like you take COVID, for example, okay? COVID affect all of us cosmically, like not cosmically, sorry. I mean, it is cosmic, but it's affecting us worldwide. Everyone was affected by it. It's caused all of us to be limited, isn't it? Some of us couldn't get out of home. Some of us lost their jobs. Some of us lost their family members, and so on and so on. It was harsh, yeah? So there is a constant threat that energy cannot really just go away. You produce it, it can come to a level where it's going to, transferred into very negative effect. You understand? So in his time, there were a few times that he was able to stop worldwide chaos to take place. Only because his knowledge, only because of his understanding, only because of his intention, only because he really understood the meaning of creation and the purpose of creation. So they say that he was chasing after Satan. He was chasing after the opponent. We all afraid. You say, oh, stay away, don't. He was saying, come, I want to see you, see how sophisticated you are. He was challenging the opponent, This is what the Zohar gives to us. So even in Lag BaOmer, which is the epiphany of that ability to do that, he find a funnel, he find a vortex that allow us to erase all the negativity in the world. Because at that time, there was a pandemic that killed 24,000 of his Kabbalistic friends. They all were masters, almost like him. They all were capable to resurrect the dead. That's where the capacity. It says that they couldn't hold respect to one another. Even they're all giants, they couldn't appreciate the power of the other because they were busy with their own power. So when we ask ourselves, when are we busy with ourselves, not allowing to give respect to the fellow man? What we call dignity, human dignity. Human dignity, it means that we identify that there is spark of the divine in every person. So as Alan said about the study, that we have the tendency to look around and just to identify what I see wrong in the other person. So that's what causing the worldwide pandemic in general. There are many ingredients into this dish, but it's the main thing. It's the judgment. It's not really holding the respect to one another. We are focusing on why people are not giving us honor, why people are not giving us respect. So the word kavod in Hebrew, it means lev. It's the heart. Heart related to kavod, which is dignity, which is honor. To honor someone, to respect someone, yeah? So we constantly looking for respect for the self. So if someone give us respect, we like it. That's our default program. Someone appreciate us, oh, we like it. Someone give us a compliment, oh, it's nice. And if it doesn't happen, we think someone is against us. Or we find reason why we shouldn't give respect to another person. But if we're not contracting who we are, and we're seeing the wave, we're seeing not particle, we're just seeing energy. So we see the energy of the divine in every person. We don't see the limitation in every person. And that's the biggest exercise of life. And that's what the Zohar can do for us. Because the physical reality is so consuming that if we go about our five senses, we always end up judging, we always end up dismissing, hating, and feeling no connection, just feeling the separation. But the Zohar said, no, no, no. So as Daniel said, I'm disconnecting from time. Yeah, because time is an illusion, and time is part of that senses that limit us. Yeah. So the Zohar take us behind time, space, and motion. So as much as we incorporate its energy in our life, in scanning, reading, studying, singing, whatever you want to do with it, be happy when you do it. That's how you actually going to cope with all this noise that exists out there that's ruled by separation. Nobody can bypass it. Only Rav Shimon and a few others were able really to control this illusion. The Zohar is all about controlling the illusion. So the moment you control the illusion, say, okay, pandemic, you're nothing, you know? One of the Kabbalists says they didn't have oil to lit the candle or just before Shabbat. So he came to her and said, well, what's the problem, my daughter? Take the vinegar, pour the vinegar. Whoever told the oil to lit can tell the vinegar to lit. He meant the creator, yeah? The creator give a command to the oil to be able to be lit as a source of fuel. So he can do that too. Does he have limitations? So the moment you truly believe in that, also the vinegar can use as a fuel. Is that making sense?
It does make sense, David. I just wanted to share this. It's not Kabbalistic, but when I was young, I used to study teachings in India, and there was a specific master, Shirdi Sai Baba, and when he would light oil, he was like burning people's negativity, and people wouldn't give him oil, so he just took water and he filled it and then lit it. So his miracle was that he lit water, and they had no idea why or how he was able to do that. So it's the same kind of concept you just shared.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We all want to be in that place, like Neo, to dodge bullets. We all have that power. All right, anyone else wants to share something with us? So yeah, that day of Lag BaOmer, this vortex that is the opening, if you want to connect on a stronger level to the Zohar, that's the day to connect. That's the day to connect. To join us, we're gonna have an event here, we're gonna have an event online, but definitely to make the effort. We're studying all night. All right. Question, something? Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So continue, push yourself. That's part of the challenge. And yeah, miracles are happening already.
Thank you, David.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.